Hey everybody, I'm going to try to make this short and quick because my battery might die. But, in case you haven't been watching the morning talk shows like Anderson Live and Today and wherever else, you may have noticed that a lot of them are talking about the remake of Steel Magnolias. If you don't know, Steel Magnolias was a 1989 film starring, which was one of the starting vehicles for Julia Roberts. Now, the remake is not going to be theatrical. It's actually going to be broadcast on television. It's a made-for-television remake, which is pretty good, and it's all African-American cast. And Queen Latifah is leading this cast, and part of this cast has Jill Scott and I can't think of Felissa, whatever her name is, the lady that did Clara Huxtable in the Cosby Show. So, that's who's doing it. And according to what I've watched on Today, it's apparently the same cast. Not the same cast, but it's the same script, same story. Maybe a few tweaks here and there or changes, but same thing over. Just like before, just African-American cast. And it got me thinking, with that going around, and somebody tweeted into Anderson's show saying, well, remakes are a common thing today. Saying that remakes are a common thing today. And then with the word going around that movies like the Steve Martin, Lily Tomlin one is getting a remake, Little House on the Prairie is getting a big screen remake, which is kind of gotten under fire a little bit because it's got the director of Pineapple Express and the writer of Shame and the Iron Lady doing it, so we'll see what gets produced from there. But another thing is, but then it got me thinking though, what other movies or even shows could get remakes, either it's big screen or made for television. And a few movies that I own went through my mind, if you will. A few movies that I owned and seen crossed my mind. Movies like Officer and a Gentleman, Top Gun, Pretty Woman, are movies that I feel could probably end up getting the same treatment like Steel Magnolias is getting, and that's the African American treatment, which I think would be good. I have nothing against an African American cast. No, I do. They actually, no offense, African American cast, when they do their movies, or even tell.
Where should we just go for it?
But the thing, African Americans, no offense, actually do pretty good movies, whether it's comedy or dramas. Color Purple is a good example. You can't go wrong with that. So, to me, it all depends on what the movie would be, but I think they would actually do good remakes. But the question is, who would you get for the roles for these remakes? Like, who would you get for the lead role of Tom Cruise's character in Top Gun, or Richard Gere's character in Officer and a Gentleman? Or who would you get for Julia Roberts' character in Pretty Woman remake? Who would you get if these movies ever got that consideration? Who knows? The list is endless. But it got me thinking, could these movies also end up in the same category of being remade in the near future, in the next few years? Who knows how they're going to do the big screen remake of Little House? Who knows how they're going to do the remake of Steve Martin and Lily Tomlin's movie? But again, the question is, do you think the ones I mentioned could do it? Do you think they could? I'm not saying it. What about Beaches, for example? Think about that. Or Dirty Dancing, do a remake, not a sequel, but do a real remake of that. They did it with Footloose. So the question is, who do you think they could get if they went African American, racial mix, Latino? Who do you think they'd get? To me, it's something that You know, I'm thinking, well, you got all these movies being remade. I mean, Steve Magnolias is only like 23 years old, and it's been remade. Julia Roberts' movie is about 22, Pretty Woman, so that might get remade. So the question is, what movies do you think could get it? I mean, what about Sleepless in Seattle? Do you think they won't try to remake that in some way? Again, what other movies like from the 80s and the 90s do you think could end up getting that big screen treatment of being remade or even televised remade? You know, and what about shows? What shows do you think could get it too? I mean, look at The Honeymooners. They were an all-white cast. They got a big screen remake with an all-African-American cast. So the question is, who do you think could do it? You know, what do you think of it? Do you agree with some of the movie choices that I'm talking about? That could possibly be in line for remakes if the time is chosen. Let me know down below what your thoughts are, and I will talk to you all later. Video responses are appreciated.